How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? This is your favorite bartender here at Clergy Bartending, and we're back at it again with our second Halloween special. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, didn't you do a Voltaire-inspired episode last week? And I say, okay, fair enough. Yes, I did. But, I wanted to make something special, even more special. It fits in with our spooky season vibe here. Now, as I get myself a little bit more presentable here, I'll go ahead and tell you what we're going to be making. We'll be making two cocktails based on Aurelio Voltaire's most recent album and book, even though they haven't come out yet. He has released some songs for it and some kind of sketches for it. So, we're making two. There you go. We're making two cocktails for this special occasion. So, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to go ahead and start this drink, as all good drinks and bad drinks start, with ice. Now, I'm using ice out of the shaker for utter convenience. I know if you're doing this in your kitchen, just go up to your ice machine, just use that ice. Or if you have professional ice, by all means. And we're going to start this recipe with about the juice of about half a lime here. This should be getting us anywhere between about a quarter of an ounce to half an ounce pour of our lime juice. Now, you could, if you'd like to, go to the full ounce pour of the lime juice, or you can stick with the half. For this recipe, I use half. All depends on how tart you want the drink to become in the end. This would transform this drink to more of a vodka sour, which is what we're going to be adding in a little bit. But that is what I use, the half ounce of lime juice. And we're going to be using something here that is most important to bars, and I think you go to any bar in America or abroad, you will find this in their repertoire. It is simple syrup. Simple syrup is literally just equal parts water and sugar mixed together over heat. And we're going to be using here about half an ounce, 3/4 ounce of simple syrup for this. Now, what's in this bottle is going to be what makes this drink. What's in this bottle here is maraschino cherry juice. I'm pretty sure you've seen it in the supermarket in a big ass tub. So we're going to be using about 2 ounces of our maraschino cherry juice, and we're going to go ahead and pour that in. Now, I know what you may be thinking. This doesn't look like a Black Labyrinth to me, which is what this drink is called. And I say, patience, child, when have I ever let you down? So now we're going to be getting our spirit. Now, what are we going to be using here? We're going to be using a vodka, but not just any vodka. We're going to be using Black Vodka. Now, you guys can go ahead and around this time go to your local liquor store and pick up a bottle of Black Vodka. But what I did was I took about 2 cups worth of Grey Goose vodka. Now, keep in mind you can do this with any vodka you have handy. I so happen to have Grey Goose, so I did it with Grey Goose. And I went ahead and just put in a couple drops of food coloring here, and there you go. That's how I got my Black Vodka. Now, we're going to uncork this real quick and just be safe. This thing does stain, so if you're, and wearing anything white, I suggest you don't. We're going to go ahead and give this about a 1.5 ounce pour here of our Black Grey Goose vodka. Now, you could go for the 2 ounce pour of this, as I don't think that it's going to overpower the drink as much as like another liquor would. But I did the 1.5 ounces here, and I'm going to show you what happens, how we're going to be adding it. So as you can see, what we're doing is we're using our bar spoon here, and we're just trying to get the Black Vodka to layer on top of the cherry juice and the lime juice and the simple syrup, which it's doing perfectly here. Also, keep in mind, always keep a paper towel handy to go ahead and clean up the bar spoon or clean up any mess that you make, because this thing will stain and it gets stuck to your equipment, to make sure just go ahead and get that right down. So as you can see here, our bottom layer, just go ahead and put this away. And you know what? I think I've become a poster boy for this now. Just make sure go ahead and cork your liquor whenever possible, so that way you don't make any mess. Make a mess. Now, what do we have here? We have a layer of Black Vodka on top, and the cherry juice, lime juice, and the simple syrup at the bottom. Now, at this point, you could leave it here for a second for presentation's sake. But what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking our bar spoon here. We're just going to go ahead and give this a nice big old stir. And as you see, as the ingredients combine, it gives this dark, this like kind of potion vibe to it. Not necessarily how you would say, not necessarily as in it looks like it'd kill you, or it would turn me invisible, or finally make a woman in my life stay in my life. But it gives it this dark vibe to it. Substitution for this could be creme de violette. Make sure just go ahead and use the 1.5 ounces, but I suggest the black vodka here, and we're gonna be garnishing this drink optional. Garnish is optional, of course, but I think this drink does call for it. Although if you're gonna make this drink at home, you don't need to have, or you don't need to garnish it if it's just for you. So we're gonna be putting 1 maraschino cherry into this drink, and we're also gonna garnish this with a lime wedge. Now back to what I was saying. The Black Labyrinth is as a drink. Not only for presentation, but I think it gives you the general vibe of that record. Seeing as how he said that or I am assuming that is based off of there was going to be a scene with a cantina in it, or a bar equivalent, and I think this is something that would be in there. Just not of course just for the look of it, because it's one of those drinks where you can drink it and easily not taste the vodka, even at the 1.5 ounces. But I'll go ahead and give you the tasting notes for that drink a little bit later in this episode, where we're going to go ahead and make 2, and then I'll go ahead and give you the tasting notes for that. So we're going to go ahead and get another glass here. You can use another highball. You can use whatever glass you have handy. We're going to add in the rest of our ice here. Make sure not to that way to go, dumbass. Oh, yeah, that's not going to come out. So we're going to be using the rest of our ice here, and like I said, just make sure you go ahead and give your equipment a good clean. Go ahead and, with the jiggers, go ahead and, yeah, there you go. Because it will stick sometimes, and, that's not good for when you're mixing cocktails. It's not. It won't come out. It's hard. And it kind of taints the drink. So, what makes the Black Labyrinth so different to this cocktail? Well, this cocktail, I like to call No Honor Amongst Thieves, because it's named after one of his songs, and it's one of his songs that is supposed to be coming out on the album. I've heard snippets of it on Instagram. I'm not supporting his Patreon because I'm broke as shit. So, you gotta work with what you got. You know what I mean? So I've heard the snippets. So what makes this drink different, in my opinion, is that we're gonna be using bourbon. And, well, first of all, we'll go ahead and get into our ingredients before we get to the bourbon. We'll get 3/4 ounce pour here of simple syrup. Go ahead and throw that son of a bitch right in. And then we're going to be using something that you guys haven't seen on the show yet, which is called sweet and sour. Now, sweet and sour is literally an equal parts mix of lime juice and lemon juice. Just go ahead and put that in a squeeze bottle. We're going to be using about 3/4 of this for this drink. All right. And now we're going to be using our bourbon. What makes this drink different is that it has bourbon, and you don't really see a lot of bourbon cocktails like this. You have the old fashioned, you have bourbon sour, things like that, but you don't see see bourbon in this application. Also, make sure to go ahead and cork your liquor again. But for this bourbon, I'm going to be using Wild Turkey bourbon. You can go ahead and use any bourbon that you have handy, or any whiskey that you have handy for that matter. But I think this recipe works with bourbon. And we're going to be finishing this off with about a 2-ounce pour of our maraschino juice. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, well, doesn't the cherry overpower or doesn't the bourbon overpower the drink? Well, it would, but in this drink, you get a hint of bourbon right up front, and as the drink evolves, you don't get a taste of that. Make sure you just go ahead, since we're building these in the glass, just go ahead and give these a big stir, so these ingredients can incorporate nice and well, and you'll have a good time. So, no honor amongst thieves. Why are we using bourbon? Well, I think, for one, you don't see a lot of when people talk about bourbons, they usually talk about, it goes down smooth, and it's nice and it's nice for lack of a better term. But you never hear someone say it goes down smooth, and it's refreshing. So here, the No Honor Amongst Thieves and the Black Labyrinth. Which one do I prefer? For me, I prefer the. Go 1 second. Gonna taste the fruits of our labor. Oh, for me, I prefer the honor amongst thieves. Why? Because I said before, you right up front when you taste it, you get a hint, a gentle whisper of the bourbon, but you don't get the bourbon right up front. It's something that doesn't sneak up on you. It's like right there, and then as it goes down, you taste the lime and the cherry and a little bit of the simple syrup. Now, this doesn't make this a sweet drink. It doesn't make it too sweet. But it's it's a good combination here. And I think if you're gonna go and make one of these two, go ahead and make both of them if you want to. I would certainly suggest that you do make both of them because they're both refreshing cocktails in their own right. I just think that if you want something nice and refreshing, you don't hear that a lot with bourbon, and this drink is surprisingly refreshing when it comes to bourbon. Now, when we go to the Black Labyrinth is amazing. It is refreshing. You don't taste the vodka in it at all, which is pretty strange in a drink. The Black Labyrinth is a very easy and dangerous drink to drink because you cannot taste the liquor in it. Who knows how many it takes to actually affect you, But, that's for you guys to tell me in the comment section. Well, there's our Voltaire inspired cocktail number 2. If you guys want me to make a Halloween cocktail inspired by something, you go ahead and leave that in the comments below. Again, I will not stress this enough. I strongly suggest this cocktail blew my mind when I made it. The bourbon works so well in it, and the black vodka works so well in the Black Labyrinth. And it's weird. It has this nice contrast to each other, where they basically have the same components, but, you get a different flavor altogether. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you in week 3 for our Halloween special. And if you want to go ahead and see what I'm doing, go ahead and follow me on Instagram, where you can see sneak peeks of the drinks that I will be doing in this week. Or the next week, I should say. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, I shall disappear.